Hi everyone. My name is Sabina Garduna. I'm a senior here in CSU Pueblo. I started in the honors minor my freshman year in fall of 2018, and I'm graduating this May. And I'm here to talk to you a little bit today about the different extracurricular activities I've had and I've participated in my time in CSU Pueblo. Like, you have your standard ones, like I was part of the tennis team, I was in the political science club, I worked in the university, which are all things that I encourage you all to do. There's opportunities in club sports, in different student organizations. There's also, I think working on campus is the most convenient way of getting some money while you're studying as well, because it lets you stay in this like environment and you can keep moving forward. But I want to talk to you a little bit about, in particular, my field experience the summer after my freshman year and some conferences that I've attended since last year. So my freshman year, I decided to contact some people I knew, which is, I think, my biggest takeaway for today. Just contact people you know. Use your little kid face, we still have it. Like, flash your eyes at them and they'll probably help you. It sounds like a far reach, but it's not. And I ended up working in the Center for International Studies in the Mexican Senate, which allowed me to publish 3 documents before I started my sophomore year of college, which I think it's a really good opportunity. And it was super clarifying for me, because up until that moment, I'd wanted to go to law school, but I realized that research was what I wanted to do. And following that experience was amazing. And I would love to talk to any of you in more detail. If you want to talk about legislative internships with me, please ask Dr. Bob for my contact information. I would love to. But then my sophomore year, I started working in a research project as a result from that internship, because I became so motivated to research. And with that research project, I had the opportunity to, well, first I was able to go to a roundtable conference in which we developed policy. And this was fully done like on my own. I remember one of the political science professors mentioned it, and I applied for it on my own, and I had to work with the political science and the honors department to be able to go to the conference. And it was an amazing experience. I got to meet people from all over the world in Texas A&M, and we developed policy, and that was fantastic, because I I think it was a very practical application of what we get in real time. And because it was a conference and it was like a simulation the whole time, it was really fast paced, really real. Like, we were working on immigration and we had an advisor that has been working for the DEA for 20 years or something. And he was like, yeah, you have to get me this memo by the end of today. So that was really interesting, because it helped me have those skills sort of like developed on my own. But I think, and this, I am a bit biased because I do want to be a researcher when I grow up, but my favorite ones have been research conferences in which I've been able to both present and be the audience member for several political science research projects. And this year it has been significantly easier to attend conferences because we have this Zoom. So I attended and presented at the Southern Political Science Association conference in January of this year, as well as in the Western Regional Honors Conference a couple of weeks ago. I presented my original research in there, and it was a very formative experience that I think has been what really pushed me to keep going with my research, because in both times I was sort of stuck. I know we've all been there, whether you do research at a bigger or smaller scale, and you just don't know really you don't really know where to go, and none of your friends do, and your roommate is an engineering major. What are they going to tell you? So these conferences were really good for me because they helped me get some feedback, and I was also able to network an immense amount. And going back to my talk to people get to know more people and try to do these things. I don't know. I don't know if I'm hitting all the points, but I think I would give you the advice of networking. Keep up with your LinkedIn. It's kind of annoying. It has a really weird interface, but it's worth it. And just keep trying. Find something that makes you love what you want to do. Find something that really, like, when you don't have the motivation to do that, you look at that thing. For me, that's human rights and research. You look at that and you go like, okay, no, I care about this, like, I'm gonna do it. And I think that's what's helped me move forward with my academic career so far.
Excellent, excellent. Do you want to tell us about the clubs and some of the work that you've done through the Poli Sci Club?
Yes, absolutely. The Poli Sci Club, I'm sure most of you haven't heard of it. We haven't been really active. But what we did mostly was to create an environment which was constructive for everyone. So we had several events during the 2018 midterm elections. It started, and then we have 2019 local elections with mayors and school board and water board officials. So we did some events for those, which I think is really important, because being engaged in politics as a young person is really important. We talk about it all the time, but very rarely do we stop and think, oh, did I vote for my local elections? Oh, did I register to vote in time? Here in Colorado, we're very lucky because we have same-day voter registration, which I encourage all of you to do, because voting is as much of a privilege as it's a responsibility. So I really encourage you to do it. But with the Political Science Club, I was able to connect with different organizations around campus as well as around the country, and do a voter registration event and effort for the 2020 presidential election. I personally was working with the Sunrise Movement, which is a progressive organization that is currently working to pass a Green New Deal, but the Political Science Club is not politically affiliated. So everything that was done through the Political Science Club was done in local events to gather people locally and get them registered to vote. And I think my favorite thing about the Political Science Club is that it was a peer environment in which we could get help. I got help from my peers constantly. I try to give help to my peers as well. Um, I'm not, I mean, we only have 1 week, but the Political Science Club still reviews social science papers if you need to, before you send them, because sometimes it's hard to go to the writing room. Sometimes it's hard to talk to your professors. And that's what I got from clubs as well. It was a different environment in which I was able to see my peers, maybe not as social and as free as if you go out to the res or out to the caf or something like that, but in a way in which we were actually helping each other. And I think being involved with people around the university has been really, really important for me, because there's always something to learn. And by being involved, for example, in the student journal that we have here on campus, which, by the way, if you have original research, I encourage you to submit for next year. I know Dr. Volk has all of that information. Um, you get to know a lot of people and you get to learn a lot. And I think it's very important to have these non-class, non-work spaces, but also not social, in which you can learn and listen and broaden your perspective, and really like have a compassionate, open space in which you can learn and keep learning, because that's what I think is most important.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Sabina. One last question. How do you think these? I know you're still figuring out your path post CSU Pueblo. You've got lots of options that you're looking at. Um, how do you think these experiences have changed where your path will unfold, and particularly maybe if you've not had these experiences? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. I Full disclosure, like I had some grad school applications that didn't go that well. So I'm not gonna sit here and tell you if you do all of these things, you're 100% gonna get those. But I can tell you that I feel like I'm a much better prepared person than I was if I hadn't done these things. I'm currently applying for jobs, and I have skills that I didn't know I had that weren't on my resume. And as honors kids, we've been putting things on our resume our whole lives. And these were things that I was totally unaware that I had. Like, I've been working for 3 years, so I have administrative skills, I have design skills, I have video editing skills. These are things that I, a political science tennis player working in the international office would have never gotten without these extra little steps to like compensate. And I don't think that what I had before was lacking, but I think that I built an experience that helped me get where I wanted to get. For me, it was very clear from my sophomore year on. I knew the impact research had on public policy. So I focused all of my effort into things that would help me with that research. But I don't know if I for example, if I had still wanted to go to law school, I would have done things that would have helped me build that little toolbox that you don't necessarily get in school. Because the thing is that everyone has a 4.0, and everyone who is doing the things that come after this has the same kind of experience that you do. So it's important to build your own little toolbox that's not necessarily like, number one, you do the LSAT. Number two, you like go and mock trial whenever you're in your second year of school. No, like it's more individualized. It's more your strengths and what you want to do. And that helps you really put like effort and motivation into it. And I think this experience is also definitely helped me problem solve. The first conference that I went to, I lost my flight. I didn't know that Texas was that big. I apologize if there's anyone from Texas. I flew into Houston and my conference was in College Station. And I remember I had weights that morning at 6 a.m. and then I had class and then I drove to Denver and it was like 5 a.m. and I was getting there. I had 2 hours of sleep before my first ever conference. Freshman year sub wouldn't have done it, just simply wouldn't have. But I got up and I did it and I kept going. And these are like skills that you're not going to get within a classroom.